Whoo, Alf. London. That's my test. Let's see if we're ready. Whoo, Alf. Alf. London. Alf. London. Oh, yeah, I'll put that placeholder away. But, yep. It seems today that all you see is stupid discourse about who ripped off who. Not to mention discourse about, but they're small. They're small, and they have the excuse. At least they have an excuse. They're just a bunch of minimum wage workers. And I'm like, yeah, well, the minimum wage workers who made this game basically ripped off a lot of the freaking characters from the game. Look, I could buy that they're not trying. I mean, I don't know if they're using NFTs or AI. For the AI thing, I can at least understand that they're. I don't know. I don't know if I'd say they're using AI. I'm putting a lid on the whole AI, NFTs, Palworld controversy thing for now. But, 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 and I must emphasize this. I can't let them get away with ripping off Pokemon, let alone ripping off anything at all. They shouldn't even be ripping off stuff in the first place. Some of the best independent animation, no, independent video games are done by people that. Some of the best independent video games are done by people that basically, well, not only do things out of love of something, but also trying to make something original out of something instead of just trying to make Pokemon but with guns. Pokemon but it's Fortnite and Minecraft. Unfortunately, that's don't ask why. Unfortunately, that's not why we're here. Actually, it is kind of why we're here, but I'm not here to talk about, some of the, okay, I guess I am here to talk about a lot of the best independent games. But that's just it, though. Look at Pizza Tower. Sure, yeah, it did get a lot of it. It did base itself a lot on Wario Land 4. But at the same time, it's like that still doesn't change the fact that they did something original with it. Like Peppino is just a more nervous version of Wario. Not to mention, there's more. There's like less that is. There's more that separates itself from Wario Land 4 than it does bring it together. I put the two games together. I can't even tell they're the same. Even though Peppino plays like Wario, but there's more subtlety to how the characters played. But again, I digress as I'm gonna try to make a point of what me and a lot of people are talking about by Palworld. And how derivative it actually, more derivative it is than it is like actually innovative in an anti-capitalist defeat. Yeah, they're really going against a big bad corporation by not making their own characters, but oh my god, guys, you guys, they're trying to get the combat the big bad corporation and all their other bullshit. They haven't made a game in a long time. I mean, that has to constitute ripping them off. Says me who really hasn't had any experience with any type of art, let alone 3D modeling. It's just. Yes, I'd rather them rip off Pokemon than rip off. I'd rather would them rip off Pokemon than I would rip off. With them ripping off, something like Hollow Knight. And they are still doing that, so that's still scummy. I am gonna obviously I'm gonna look at that and say that's bad. It's just punching down at that point. But at the same time, I don't even think they should be ripping off anything at all. If anything, I think they should be trying to make their own. They should be trying to make their own game, make their own, make their own little catch your own monster type game. But they gotta add some heart into it instead of trying to one up Game Freak. Yeah, it'll sound kind of like artist splaining for you laymen who really don't want to hear an artist talk, let alone even voice their opinion. God forbid. But essentially, yeah, it may seem like artist splaining, but no, I'm actually serious about the stuff I say, because I don't think anyone's art, no matter who they work for, should be ever, I repeat, ever used to combat, ever used to try to combat any type of big company. Let alone even try to make money off of a game that really they could have just made by themselves. No, not made by themselves. They could have just made an original idea on their own. Pals could have just been more based off of fairy tale creatures instead of Pokemon ripoffs. Yeah, there's nothing really there's nothing separating this. There's nothing really separating this except for there's nothing really separating, Palworld and what it's doing from if I was basically recolored Donald Duck, shrink his grow his body a bit, and then recolor him to make him a little different, and take out a lot of the personality that Donald Duck once had from his original design, and then just make it into a hodgepodge of mess. I just make it into a mess. Oh, and I used the Angry Beavers location. For those who don't know, I'm going to be making a new animated television series. No, a new independent animation series called Duck World. This is Remington Duck. Remington Duck is very angry. I mean, he's so angry he can make an onion cry. And of course, well, what would be Duck World without his pal Lewis? Lewis, the ever lovable Lewis. Lewis is Lewis is Remington's friend. They're just two peas in a pod. Oh, them darlings. Oh, them darlings. But seriously, there's nothing separating Palworld from just taking a bunch of characters and slightly changing them a bit. Whoa, watch out. I might be the next Martin Luther. I might be the next anarchist, anti capitalist Martin Luther King. If you don't watch yourself, I might recolor your character and make him different. You better recognize my true ingenuity and true anti-capitalist nature. I mean, hell, I'm practically on your side. I'm on your side for basically ripping off this recognizable character to the point where they're not even recognizable at all. How I'm practically doing all you a service by going against the big bad corporations who make the terrible CalArts animation, and I just make my own cartoon. But I make something that's just DuckTales, but I recolor every duck character to make them original. And of course, what's making an original character without giving them a bit more personality? I mean, it just certainly isn't Lewis without his signature. It just isn't Lewis without his signature little scars. No. Without his signature feet, his signature little toes, signature little foot, his sneakers. You just don't mess with a man's sneakers. This is art, people. This is art. I'm a little creator trying to make something of myself. But after all, I'm on your side, aren't I? Aren't I on your side for sticking to the big bad corporation and saying, yeah, go fuck yourself? Aren't I on your side? I'm doing a very nice thing. I used to be friends with like a bunch of people in retail, and they understand what I'm doing. Hell, I'm practically a martyr. I'm practically an industry martyr. I mean, I'm basically doing this all for you guys. It wouldn't really be any type of anti-capitalist defeat if I don't just rip off a few characters, recolor them to be a little different, and add a little few things to make them a little different from the character. And how even making them a little more epic by adding extra features that probably, if the Looney Tunes crew were actually here, they would smack me in the face. I mean, aren't I on your side? Aren't I doing this all for you? This is all for you, isn't it? I'm practically on your side, just showing Warner Bros. And all these, showing Warner Bros. And Disney what for by ripping off their characters. Yeah. Lordy. Okay, that's Remy, that's Lewis. I already did them. I'm gonna take a little break. Evil corporations do unironically suck, but Palworld also sucks. Good old Lewis. Yeah, Lewis. He's my favorite character in Duck World. Oh, I mean Drake World. Drake World. Remember, I don't want to like associate my title with DuckTales, but I do at least gotta make people seem, have it seem very familiar. At the very least, make it seem very familiar. I mean, come on, everybody. That's Lewis. That's not Daffy Duck. That's Lewis. That's Lewis. I mean, come on, man. Come on. That's Lewis. And this isn't the Angry Beaver's room. No, this is the Duck's room. See? See, it's tinted blue. I can't get sued. See there, the sepia tone. No, see, they love living like this. Of course, what is Duck World without the landlord? If I can find a really good character design that I totally made myself and didn't steal from talented artists who work in the industry are trying to make a name for themselves but are being restricted. But hey, I'm doing a lot of the hard work by not working in the industry and showing them what for. Lol. Aren't I amazing? Isn't it just amazing ripping off people and making something devoid of creativity, but you claim it's creative? I mean, hell, it's practically me using my oh wait, hold on. I didn't do this right. It's practically me using my imagination. I may be art thieving people's art, but hey, it's just my imagination, man. Don't you dare ever criticize me for basically like stealing people's art and claiming it's all mine. I'm an anti-capitalist. I'm part of the anti-capitalist regime just like you. And if you say anything about the sort or criticize the way I basically lash out at a corporation or whatever it is I'm trying to do, which is like just make something you love instead of trying to one up something. But it's like, I'm totally on your side. I hate the corporation. Therefore, I'm automatically right and can't be criticized. I can't have my stuff be criticized at all. No, you can't criticize someone who's having it bad like you. If anything, you should feel bad for not letting me into your circle of the anti-capitalists. I mean, I hate the corporations. Doesn't that entitle me? I'm entitled to be just as anti-capitalist as you. But yeah, it's the thing with these with Palworld, they just often like they steal character designs and then basically they steal character designs, but they steal character designs to try to make a big point about the big bad corporation as if, you know, making a game you love and would love to make and also would be like enjoyable as if that isn't the better solution that and freaking sticking it to the man by just ripping off their characters is better. Here's the thing, guys. And I don't know if anyone has ever told you this in a lifetime, but the best independent anything is usually done out of love. Even if something's not as good, like say, even if something's like kind of boring, like say, I don't know, like even if something's not the best, like Hazbin Hotel or Hell of a Boss, I can at least tell that it's made by people that genuinely love the craft of animation, even if they don't necessarily write the best stuff. However, I don't think Vivziepop ever tried to like. They never at all tried to like rip off someone's characters and put them in the show, but blatantly rip them off. I don't think Vivziepop, even if yeah, she did, she she is like having horrible conditions at like Bento Box and Spindle Horse, but the thing is, at the very least, she isn't trying to rip off a character design she loves and like blatantly rip it off, like steal it, actually get the image and make a character out of like that stock image. Basically, at least they're not doing what I'm doing, but I'm just trying to make a point about this whole nonsense surrounding Palworld. Like, I get it. The big bad, like, I get it. Corporations aren't the best. And it sucks whenever, like, it sucks that Game Freak of all things, who used to be the titan of, like, video games, and I think was even trumping the likes of Mario, it sucks that they aren't really making the best decisions, let alone games. And I love a lot of the Pokemon designs in the games. I don't give a damn what like Gen 1ers obviously are annoying, but however, that does not make Palworld any less valid. Like I think even as someone who sorry about this, fellas. I'm laughing my ass off here. But even as someone who is trying to make an animation career, but like it's not necessarily working out because of like how scummy the industry is, even as someone who's trying to make a living off of his work, I can at least tell you I wouldn't be caught dead trying to use a stock image or a 3D model nonetheless, of a character, and then basically just changing it to make it different. Look, guys, I didn't like steal the character. Obviously, it's an edit. It's a different character. Remember all those like this is my OC don't steal images of like Sonic OCs, but they're like all recolored and chubby and like some of them are just totally edgy characters. Remember Cold Steel the Hedgehog? Palworld is just that, except they unironically want to make a game where those are just the characters. And sure, there's some variations with some of the pals, but at the same time, it's like, gotta understand, they still are ripping off these characters. Like, I'm sorry, but you are not gonna get away with ripping off a character's initial design and changing it a little to make it a little different. Ugh. Dang it, I can't transform. Oh, yeah. Huh. Maybe I should do this one at a time. But that's just the thing. It's like. I'm not against getting back at Game Freak. But I feel, or Nintendo, let alone even any company, gaming company. But the thing is, with a lot of the games like Cuphead and Mugman, they were doing their own thing. They like Cuphead and Mugman were doing their own thing. Pizza Tower was doing its own thing. Like Pizza Tower was definitely doing its own thing. Oh, okay, okay, okay. Time to review. This is Eddie. He is the landlord. He's here to make sure Louis and Remy pay their money on time. This is totally an original character, folks. I didn't steal this. I didn't. Come on. You are the villains for telling me I can't do this. I am only a college student. What do you want from me? Last but not least, we gotta use them. Hell, I mean, I'm gonna have to use Baby Huey. You know I'm gonna have to do it to you. Hey there, Pop! That got a dipshit. Hey, Daddy! Hey there, Daddy! Whatever his fucking name is, Baby Huey. But yeah, I'm totally doing an anti-capitalist deed here. It's Warner Bros. And MGM, Nickelodeon, and also Disney's fault for making bad cartoons. Therefore, it's valid for me to steal something from them and, not even like make something of my own. Pizza Tower, Schmeetza Tower. Miles John, Smiles John. This is original. Original to the standard that, like, someone with not that much money would do. Guys, don't blame me. Don't blame me for this. I'm only a college student. I may be just ripping off character designs using AI and not even, like, crediting my animators, let alone even caring that much about the things I do. But I'm on your side. I don't like these animation companies. They're the real fascists, even though I'm practically not any better. It's their fault I'm doing this. But yeah, seriously, if you genuinely think that you are not at fault because you don't have enough money to pay actors, or let alone even like pay artists, so you just rip off someone's model, you are lower than low. You're scum. Yes, obviously you don't have enough money, but it's like could literally take more time into making something get enough money to pay actors instead of trying to release a topical ha 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 game. Like, work more on Palworld. I guess, yeah, it's it's like not work. It's unfinished. I heard it's unfinished, but at the same time, it's like, why do they give them a demo of it if it's not finished? I mean, yes, Pizza Tower did that also, but the difference here is Pizza Tower was an original idea. More of an original idea than freaking Palworld, which is just Pokemon, but you got guns. And it's just Pokemon mixed with Minecraft and Fortnite. The thing is, it's like Pizza Tower obviously had more effort put into the show. Or no, not show, game. Whereas Palworld is just lazy. And that's when it hit me. Are we really seeing anything as a passable victory? When I discovered Flash animation for London movies, which is now MOBA, I was impressed with it. Drake sweep. When are you playing Fortnite? I'm sorry to break this to you, Carol, but we're not going to be playing Fortnite. Because Fortnite sucks! Yeah, Fortnite is for losers! I mean, Fortnite's okay. I mean, if you're a fan of it, it's fine, but it's like, I'm just too cool for Fortnite, alright? I'm too cool for Fortnite. Besides, I don't know, it's like, I could just play a better game. I could play better games than Fortnite, if I'm gonna be honest here. Well, I could probably play Grand Theft Auto, and it probably would just be so much better than Fortnite. I guess it's not too comparable. Now, to you guys, you might be thinking, why are you ripping off Baby Huey? And me, an anti capitalist Chad who hates the big bad corporations like you, I will say, the big bad corporations at MGM don't have an ownership of ducks. They don't have a stranglehold on the ducks. They don't own ducks. Therefore, it verifies me to rip off someone's design and basically turn it into nothing. Nothing but a mere shell of basically what Baby Huey was. I'm not even a Baby Huey fan, or the biggest Baby Huey fan. If we're talking Baby Huey, I'm talking like, say maybe, I'm thinking more so the 90s version of Baby Huey, which was done by Carbuncle Cartoons, and they're pretty good. At the same time, if you ask me how I would make a cartoon, I'll tell you, I wouldn't try to rip off someone's core design and make it into something, a mere rip off. I mean, that's just Edwina. That's not Baby Huey, you dipshit. That's Edwina. Edwina is an original character, girlfriend of Lewis, who basically hangs around with the other drakes. I mean ducks, drakes, a doll. and they're kind of a more interesting love interest, but they're very nervous and don't know everything. However, Lewis is very supportive of his small-headed, dumb girlfriend. And that, my friends. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, we ain't done yet. It ain't over till the fat duck over here turns different. But to be serious here, this is basically what Palworld does. Palworld basically ripped off character models. Hell, I think there were even rumors, and don't quote me on this, of some of the pals just being Pokemon models, but they basically cropped it, shaped it, and enlarged some of the proportions to make it stand out on its own. However, if anyone was ever to make a Palworld animated series slash equivalent of Palworld but an animated series, then let's hope everyone's angry about that because uh, I feel like you'd probably have a lot more anger at I feel like a lot of people would be very angry that you ripped off a character design for your independent animated series by just I don't know shrinking or enlarging proportions and making them totally different. To some of you, it may feel like a nerd shit, but I'm genuinely serious about this type of thing because I'm a character designer. It's the thing. Yes, they're derivative things, but at the same time, some of those derivative things they didn't just crop a design, they didn't just steal a design from somebody and turn it into a freaking raped version of a character. Like I don't just take Ren and Stimpy. I like yeah, my stuff has a lot of Ren and Stimpy DNA inside of it, but I don't just take Ren and Stimpy and shrink their proportions and turn them green. No, I made my own characters from scratch. Obviously from inspiration, but I kind of just did my own work while looking at the inspiration. But the inspiration I used as a guidance. I didn't use it as the basis for my character. I used it as a guidance. But yeah, isn't this wholesome? It's Eddie, it's Edina, it's Edwina, it's Eddie. I forgot to mention this, but Edwina is the daughter of Edward, or I guess Edward. Eddie, Eddie. Edwina is the the daughter of Eddie, and that's Lewis. That's Lewis, and that's Remy. Now, isn't this just an own to those big bad animation companies? How dare they make that Cal Arts BS? Just give me my freaking. Give me my, Give me good animation, or give me a. Or I'll rip off everything. I'll rip off your animation. I'll rip off your shows. And hey, there's anti-analyzing. That automatically makes my thing superior. I mean, after all, like, having so much crust in your images makes it look more high quality. But yeah, this is the show. Drakeland. Drake World. No, I guess Drake World works too. But automatically, guys, I am superior. I am more superior. Automatically, guys, I am superior. I am automatically a superior artist than anyone in the industry because I am a small artist. I can never be criticized for anything I do. I mean, hell, it's their fault for making bad cartoons. I mean, come on. I'm the audience. I deserve better cartoon. But I'm gonna make better cartoon. Albeit I have no expertise, no patience. I'm just some lazy guy who has solidarity with a lot of the workers in retail, but I don't have enough expertise, let alone creativity, to make my own things. I'm just one guy, everybody. Please accept me. I'm just one guy. I'm just one guy. Don't get mad at me. I don't know what I'm doing. I can't be held responsible for anything I do because I'm a small man. I'm small. They're big. If they were doing what I was doing, I would have rightfully had them arrested. But yeah. That's the thing with Palworld. It's it's not really doing much for society other than basically being like, I'm smarter than a capital. I'm smarter than an industry. I'm smarter than the industry. It's like Homer Simpson going, I'm smarter than an industry. I'm smarter than an industry. I'm smarter than an industry. Especially in the way a lot of like independent games, let alone animations, basically tackle industry stuff or industry made stuff. In the way that that a lot of the best independently made stuff tackles stuff from the industry. They didn't really think about trying to one up the industry. That's like the one thing. The thing is with like Pizza Tower, yes, it was based off of Wario Land, but it did something new with it. It trying to add elements of like Earthworm Jim, let alone other games. Hell, I think they even got some stuff from Wario Land Shake It. Obviously, it's from the Wario Land. It's based off the Wario Land series, but yes, they do something original though. And for anyone saying that by making this, I'm trying to make some type of straw man argument, one, figure out what that means first. Two, I am literally doing what a lot of the people that made the freaking Palworld game literally did. I took characters, shrink their proportions a bit, make them a little different from, their original counterpart by adding a few features in quotation. And I essentially just try to make an original character out of an already existing character. But instead, I just get this clobbered mess. This clobbered little mess that does remind you of a few characters. That Lewis guy, that looks like Daffy Duck. But, man, I just respect the hustle. I respect the hustle, man. That Dexdog not Dexdog Detective, it's kind of like one of those bootleg movies from like those DVD studios that basically try to fool grandmas into thinking something is this. Except they're trying to make it into an actual game with actual developers from actual people. And people seriously are looking at this and saying this is the feel-good story of 2024. Yeah. Yeah, the people that are basically ripping off designs get the praise. Oh. Oh, but when someone like... Oh, but like... someone who rips off designs gets praise, but someone trying to make something similar to the Pokemon, but it's totally original, makes something. Oh, they're making a ripoff. Oh, Yokai Watch, that's a ripoff of Pokemon. That could never beat Pokemon by a long shot. Palworld, it can. Sure, they rip off designs, but they're on our side. They're anti-capitalists. I think Drakeland might have a chance at beating the shit out of DuckTales and Looney Tunes. Am I right, guys? Seriously, though, it's like, if you think you could just one-up a company by making a total rip-off of their thing, let alone even ripping off their characters, you are a dumbass. Oh, Jesus Christ. You are a dumbass. The hell? Why isn't it getting Fire Alpaca? I swear it should be getting Fire Alpaca. Is it because I'm not doing anything in Fire Alpaca? What's going on? Oh, this is just jarring. I guess I'll go read some of the comments. But yeah, this is basically our end result. If you didn't look, if you didn't see, if you missed it. Okay, now it's back. Wait, let me read some of the comments. I could play with my friends. I could wish... No more friends. If you made a cartoon that got into the mainstream event and whatnot, how fast would your creation be turned into a content farm Agaloslop? If it does. Well, Carol, the answer is simple. You see, I'm just not going to care. I'm just not going to care about if it turns into some content farm slop. And I don't think any creator has ever cared. And if it
If they ever did, I don't think they would go, "Oh my god, my creation is being used for this garbage!" I don't even think independent animators even worry about that. Because
it's not really their concern. Their concern is making something they love, let alone just making something. I feel like if I found out that like somebody's making a cartoon or some type of disgusting cartoon or content slop farm shit of like the Quaitnoids or Atomic Avenue, then I probably wouldn't care. Look, they can do whatever the fuck they want. As long as they don't include me into it, I don't care what they do. It's just their decision. And for all I know, they can do whatever they want. They just gotta not include me into it. But yeah, I'm working on a comic for Atomic Avenue, and I am just making background characters before we get into the nitty gritty of Terrence's little sister, Tanya, basically asking if she can have a turn. It's basically a little redo of the comic I originally was going to do with Terrence and Tanya, but in a word, better. It's just better in every conceivable way because, well, not because I don't know. It's like the layout for my thing is just amazing. Not to mention, I'm doing an original layout of something instead of just, making something look very basic. It's a bunch of civilians playing on their Game Boy. I mean, that's nothing of harm here. It's just a bunch of people playing on their Game Boys or playing on their Game Drex, as it's called in this universe, in the Atomic Avenue universe. It's nothing really. This is nothing. That's all there else to it. It's just wholesome fun, and Terrence is even doing some wholesome fun, albeit not as much as a lot of the civilians in wherever Terrence is on Atomic Avenue. I don't know what street, and I don't think I ever told you guys about Atomic Avenue at all. I guess it's kind of like the Peanuts comics, except kind of messed up and has some allegory of nuclear explosions and mutants. As you can see here, this giant ravenous bird is about to eat three sisters over here playing in their game deck. And for some reason, it just seems like a great day to play on the game deck with friends, doesn't it? Even Terrence is playing on the game deck. But yeah, that's the thing. If Atomic Avenue became Content Farm Slop or whatever, I wouldn't give a fuck. If anything, I probably would download all those videos just to see how bad it is and how I can just to see like how disgusting it gets. Just have a good little laugh. But I feel like with a lot of shows slash content, or let alone series that realize, hey, I'm being made fun of, it always falls flat on its face. Let's look at the fall of let's think about the fall of. Oh, am I capturing this? Okay. Let's think of the fall of Old Lady House from Always Sunny in Philadelphia for a second. It used to be a fun little sitcom of two old ladies trying to kill each other. Charlie's mom and Dennis's mom. Oh, not Dennis's mom. Charlie's mom and Mac's mom. They hate each other. They live with each other. However, shit hit the fan when like Dennis tried to make them aware that they're on a show, and then they basically just it ruins the whole joke. It ruins the whole like. I'm not saying oh they ruin the whole joke. No, I'm saying Dennis ruins the whole joke by basically trying to not only trying to make it into a sitcom, but basically having them know that they're on a show now. I don't know if I'm recapping it the best. I can't even watch Always Sunny in Philadelphia because of what. Well, not just because I'm on stream right now, but also I don't. I mean, I could watch it on pirating, but it's like I don't have a TV, so obviously I can't watch it on like legally. Not that I want to. I don't want to like watching stuff the legal way now. It just became kind of just a hard Herculesian task, especially since most of the companies that own media are just oh god, they're the worst. Anywho, yeah, it's like Old Lady House. They basically it got ruined because the subjects of the show, the stars of the show, the people who made the show, got aware that oh the subjects are aware. They got aware that people are watching them, and then they basically they ruin the whole joke. Dennis ruins the whole joke of Old Lady House, which was supposed to be just the old ladies interacting with each other, much like The Odd Couple or like The Honeymooners. I do not want to go that route where I figure out, oh my god, people are using my characters? What the fink? Oh, what the fink? I would just be I would like if someone were to actually expect me to be like, oh my god, what will he think when he sees all this porn of his characters or content farm slop of his characters? I would probably be like, I don't care. I don't care. Like from Courage. But in all seriousness, I wouldn't care. After all, they are just they're just doing their own thing. I don't want to be a part of it though. It's the thing. I don't want to be a part of the nonsense they're basically. I don't want to be a part of the nonsense they're involved in. But at the same time, I'm not gonna like really give them the time of day, let alone even be like, they're making porn videos and cartoons and content slop of my characters? I would just be like, I don't care. Do whatever you want. Just keep me out of it. Thinking about it, I may have made the head for Tanya tiny. I get she's the little sister, but it's like the thing is, they're supposed to have the same head shape, but head size as Terrence, even if she is the little sister. And this is where Tanya is basically gonna go, can I, Terrence, can I have a turn? Can I have a turn on the game, Drek? That's the thing. Sure, Tanya kind of looks like a Powerpuff Girls character and a South Park character, but they're different enough where they can stand on their own. Not to mention. It's the thing with like Terrence's family. They're supposed to have no. They're supposed to have no nose. No explanation as to given why they don't have a nose, but they're supposed to have a nose. Not have a nose. I mean, man, I'm not good with words right now. But yeah, essentially, I do try to make my own characters, and I do not give one rat's ass if they were to make content farm related stuff with my characters. I would just be like, okay, oh well, yeah, they're doing stuff with my characters. Just keep me out of it, please. That's the thing, is like, I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn if my characters are used for like content farm slop. I could care less if like, I mean, I kind of care less if like, I used to care less. I used to care a lot more when like, my old characters were used for like porn commissions. I really shouldn't be telling this story, but there used to be like a time in which I was very trusting of all the people on my social medias, but I didn't know that some dipshit kid, degenerate, decided, hey, he probably will be okay with me putting his characters in the porn, and I'm like, no, I'm not okay. And when I finally saw it, I was just angry. I was telling that kid, "Stop associating with me, you scum. You put porn. You commissioned porn. No, you requested porn of my teenage characters into your request for that dumbass, and you basically like you caused this. You caused this to happen." I wasn't even aware they did this. That's the thing. It's like I used to be very trusting of them, but now I used to be like angry that someone would put like porn of my minor characters, my characters who are teenagers, by the way. But now I'm just like, I'll just let them do whatever they want. I'm at that point in which I'm like, they're obviously gonna get it wrong, and it'd just be best if they didn't try to involve me into their shenanigans. Besides, I have better things to worry about than, oh, if somebody made porn of my characters, or oh, if someone made content farm slop of Atomic Avenue. or like made finger family stuff with Terrence, Krebs, Tanya, and a few other characters. Anywho, this calls for me going to the bathroom. I really gotta go, so I'll see you real soon. I'm not leaving the stream. I'm just saying I'm gonna go use the bathroom. I'll be right back. And we're back! Whoo-hoo-wee! Man, was that something of a, like, was that lizard asking to be drained or what? But yeah, since my window capture that I usually use is not working or chooses not to work, let's get back to Atomic Avenue comic. A giant monster. Last time we left off, a giant monster was gonna. Terrence is playing a video game, as a lot of the people, a lot of his fellow Atomic Avenue members are, and they're playing a video game, all while impending doom is about to strike a giant monster. However, little Tanya comes in to tell Terrence, 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 can I have a turn, Terrence? Tanya basically tells Terrence if she could have a turn. And who can't when literally a lot of people around Terrence are all playing on the game Drek. Hold on. I gotta rebox that. That's the thing with comics is like what I'm really good at is the design. What I may not be the best at, but I'm pretty good at is bubbling stuff in. But yeah, this is not an anti-video game comic. This is a this is a comic about a situation of who of will Terrence give Tanya a turn on the game track? But yeah, this is not me trying to poke fun at any gaming company, let alone games in general. It's literally just a situation. A situation of who's gonna get a game. Of will Terrence give the game to Tanya, to his sister Tanya? And just to see what really there's going to be some type of chain reaction. Spoilers. But yeah, it's the thing with Atomic Avenue. You never really know what to expect from this weird little city with various communities that are all different. Yeah. I would have to get a good idea of The lady, the girl, playing with the game deck. First, before I even think about doing should kind of have like a skirt. But yeah, they're gonna be holding a game deck, just as a lot of the people in this part of the neighborhood are. They're cultured. They are very cultured. They're just like Terrence. They just want to play a game and not have to like deal with much. But perhaps I made the game deck too big. Or small. Or her hand's small. That's the real problem here. Okay, it looks satisfactory. But yeah, I'm sorry if I'm not like if you're bored, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry cuz you probably were expecting more ramblings and rants on Palworld, but as it turns out, I'm not all just rambles and rants. I'm also just experience. I want to experience more of just living and just living and also living, not to mention just making something I'm proud of rather than trying to one up something. Just because I have the dreams, just because I have my dreams crushed, does not mean I'm gonna lose my sanity over like. Okay, so it's kind of around like a forest field. Okay. But yeah, that's the thing with me. I don't try to like one up somebody. It's the thing. From my experience, trying to one up someone it just kind of results into more conflict with said studio. Just said ever a lot of people. A lot of people are gonna find you pretentious. They're gonna try to like. They're just gonna call you pretentious. To be honest, but that's just what I learned. Yeah, Terrence is trying to play a game, and Tanya is like, "Can I please have a game on the turn on the game track?" All while Terrence does not want to have any more, doesn't want to have any part in what Tanya wants. Ah, my nose. Hmm. I'd figure they probably would be. That's the thing. Also, with making comics, you gotta like also make backgrounds, and I'm not necessarily the backgrounds making guy. I am more so. Funny thing. I love making the expressions and character design better than I do like making the backgrounds. It's kind of a chore to do, especially if you don't have that much expertise on interior design. And it sucks because I want to get this expertise in order to make city locations, which is what Atomic Avenue is going to be based around. Yeah, it's the thing with Atomic Avenue. It's a city based. It's kind of a city based show, much like kind of a like city based community like show, much like Hey Arnold. Well, that's the only aspect of Hey Arnold that has, other than mostly relating to like kids, but it's more like the Peanuts than it is like Hey Arnold. It's like the Peanuts, but even more outrageous, and even relating to mutagen and atomic attacks. Hence why there's this giant monster right here out of nowhere. Out of nowhere, there's this giant monster, and they're just snarling at some of the citizens who are just casually playing on their game decks. I guess this is the part where I basically have them meet. And they're basically like. I wouldn't say Terrence would be pissed off. He just like, no. I figured Terrence would be like, no, I will not. And Terrence's little sister is kind of just not gnawing, not really gnawing. It's more so just tugging on his like shirt, saying, "Please give me a turn, please give me a turn." There's gonna be a little chain reaction that happens, and I guess here there's gonna be no background. That's another specialty with me. Is whenever I don't feel like drawing a background, there's gonna be like a little I'm gonna have. There's gonna be some people boarding. However, this is more of a choice of like. It's kind of like those moments in anime where there's no background and the characters are just in a void. I guess a better example would be like in Ren and Stimpy, where it's just they're in a painted background where it's nothing else but their insanity. It's nothing else but their insanity. It can't be like Ren or Stimpy. Like I wouldn't even say in pain. I would just say they can't be Ren and Stimpy. Like sometimes it could be just be Ren and Stimpy like in a background doing stuff. It doesn't always have like a big background where we know what's happening and what's going on. Sometimes like that's the thing. It's like I love that. There's a charm to characters being in a background freaking out or I don't know, characters doing something not in the background but in a painting. There's a charm to it. It's something I can't really explain though. That's the thing. It's like I guess for me, why I'm a little lazy on backgrounds is because I'm not the best at backgrounds. However, that doesn't mean I don't try. Hello, everyone. It's Christmas. I guess this is where it gets a little confusing. It's where, oh, she's tugging on the shirt. And you're probably wondering why Tanya's doing that. Well, it's because she's desperate. She really wants to play a game on the game deck. My apologies if there's no dialogue here right now. I'm just drawing some. I'm just drawing. But yeah, that's the thing. It's like, despite the fact that I may not be the best at everything, that doesn't mean I don't try. That doesn't mean I don't try. Oh yeah, that's not an S. It's backwards S. It's the thing. It's like you still gotta. I still argue you still gotta try. You still gotta keep on going. Part of the talk of Palworld was the people in Palworld weren't. It's an unfinished game, but if they tried getting it finished, they probably wouldn't really. I would say they are late. They would still. I'd still call them lazy. Essentially, you're basically using pre-existing models I'd still say you're using the pre-existing models of like Pokemon and growing them. It's still it's still scummy. It's still scummy. I don't care if you're independent. If you seriously think you could just get away with ripping off a character, you are dumb. You are just the dumbest person on the planet. I pity you. I seriously pity you. You think you could just get away with ripping off someone's hard work. I don't even care if you like the hard work you see. It was still hard work, and even if you tried to rip it off, I would still say that's bad. I'd still say that's a bad idea to just rip off someone's work. I'd still say oh, we got better alternatives to Palworld that isn't just like we got better alternatives to Palworld that isn't just look, we got alternatives to Palworld that isn't just that isn't we got alternatives to Pokemon that isn't Palworld that isn't just sloppy, sleazy, lazy bullshit that isn't just like trying to go against a big bad corporation. Like, you can go against the big bad corporation of Nintendo without supporting, not only supporting slop, but supporting sleaziness. Like, I don't care about this, but any attack on a big corporation's valid. No. I would still say criticism of a criticizing a corporation still needs to be accounted for. And if it's not, then how are people going to take your case seriously? If it's just look at me, I recolored Pikachu to look blue and growed his big belly. Oh my god, nobody's watching. Shame on them. Phooey. Ah well. That's I mean, I don't really care. I notice it, but I don't let it affect me because I know that I do this for the sake of me. I really just do this. I don't try to make any type of content for anybody, let alone anything for anybody. I make stuff for me, which that's the best. It's probably one of the best. It's just the best like philosophy I can give anybody. Do what you want. Don't do what. Don't do stuff for a bunch of people that won't even respect you if you don't. Don't do stuff for fans. Yes, it's good to throw them a bone once in a while, but they do stuff that often really, they don't deserve the support that they get, the support that they ask for or are entitled to, because they act like assholes. They're complete jerks towards you, especially if you don't make something, they'll love. I think My Life as a Teenage Robot had a message like this, and they're right. They got a point. They got a point. Like, the thing is, they got a point. Fans are only gonna like you until you disappoint them. They're not really your friends, they're your fans. Because the thing is, like, they're only gonna like you if you satisfy them. The salivating dogs there are. That's the thing. This try to satisfy someone who's not even gonna like you unless you basically give them what they came here for, or they not care about. Just I mean, they not care about you, and only care about a bunch of people that won't even care about you back. I find that very scary. It's just, why would you not? Oh, sorry. Why would you not like care about your work and the stuff that you make for the sake of having Rando Joe happy? Look, if you like making the stuff you like, you go make the stuff you like. You go make that weird little animation if no one's gonna like it. But make it for you. Don't make it for a bunch of assholes. They're not even going to respect you unless you do something that will please them. I don't care what type of consumer entitlement they have. It's problematic to just force a creator to not make something they love and instead make something that, only your audience will like. Which, please tell me I'm not the only one that finds it the least bit terrible. And imagine you make this passion project, and then someone's expecting this one project, throwaway project you've done, but you really want to do the passion project. I think the best example of this type of struggle and dilemma is with the Nostalgia Critic and Demo Reel. Except I more so blame Doug because he's more so choosing to listen. But not only does he not pay his actors, which that's already bad, but he's choosing to listen to a bunch of people that won't even respect him unless he makes the Nostalgia Critic. Nobody, nobody can see him other than just a Nostalgia Critic. And that's sad because even I know there's more to the nostalgia critic than just his references and among other things. Even if Demo Reel sucked, even if Demo Reel wasn't necessarily the best, I could at least say without a doubt it was him being passionate about something. It's at least him being passionate about something, even if really a bunch of. Even if it's not the best execution. Even if it's not the best execution of a premise. Like, a bunch of people remake films, but they're all jerks. I would at least say without a doubt that, like, I'd at least say without a doubt that Doug was making something that would make him smile. And sure, it may have not have been on the same level as like Citizen, and it may not have been on the same level as like Always Sunny in Philadelphia in terms of comedy, but he was still making something that he loves. I'd still argue he's still making something he would love. I would have loved to see Doug Walker make something amazing and not care what other people thought. Unfortunately, he just has this thing where he just has to care. He has to give a damn about what some guy says. That, oh, it's not as good as the nostalgia critic. Why do you need that guy for validation, Doug? I get he's a consumer and obviously has entitlement to the stuff you make, but if you like making something, Doug, just make it. Just make it and not care. Yes. Obviously, a lot of the things you make aren't always going to please people, but that's not your business, Doug. It's not your business. If anything, you should just focus on making something you would like. I mean, yeah, it kind of sounds like I kind of just, it seems like I'm just patronizing Doug, but it's like, I'm not trying to patronize Doug. I mean, as much as I said that he isn't necessarily the best person, I mean, dude did cover up a pedophile and admit that he did jack off he did admit he jacked off to Sailor Moon. And supposedly we're in this Twilight Zone world where anyone could be validated for admitting they freaking jacked off to Sailor Moon. We're at that Twilight Zone world. Hey, it's Dumbsville's world, and we're all living in it. The critic is stronger than the industry man who has to work for a living. Oh, but if you disagree with the industry man, you're bad. But oh, if you disagree with the critic, you are punching down. And I'm like, that's cockamamie. That is just caca. It's just a load of caca. I just can't see myself subscribing to the idea that we just gotta accept any type of criticism, no matter how bad it is. If anything, that would mean we'd have to accept any type of criticism, any type of criticism will just be validated because we couldn't really tell the difference between somebody sending death threats to somebody actually giving a valid, legitimate review to somebody making a total ass of themselves, and more so making a cringe video rather than making some type of actual agreeable statement. And it sucks because there may have been a statement I actually would agree with, but at the same time, the statement they're trying to make isn't necessarily a good one. Not to mention, it kind of just stems from literally, the critic's always right. I could always agree with the ever reliable critic. He is never wrong, except when he makes a terrible statement about something. Which I would argue no critic is above criticism, especially when they do shit like this. I would argue that even if Doug Walker was making a really good point, I can't really. Even if Doug Walker, is a critic and he is the voice of the people, I would still argue that despite all this, dude still is making an ass of themselves. I would still argue they're making an ass of themselves. Like, Doug, Doug, Douglas, Douglas. Just because you are making, just because you're making a point doesn't mean you're making a good point. You can be an asshole without, you can be an asshole without, people can be assholes without being, attached to any corporation. And I would still argue that despite your intention to try to criticize things, you don't do it well or good. You literally tried to attack the wall. You attacked Pink Floyd's The Wall without even understanding without even a simple understanding of why they made the wall in the first place. But yeah, it's the thing. It's like we as a community of artists, animators, among other things, we've got to stop. We have to stop tolerating mediocrity. We have to stop acting like any type of criticism is passable. Because, no, it's not passable. Just because you are the little man doesn't mean you can't make any damage. And hell, if you are a freaking online critic, you of all people can't be talking about, like, oh, but I'm the little man, you're the big man. You can't use that metaphor when you literally are an influential guy. You're just as influential as these people. You literally can you dictate like whether something's good or not. You literally dictate whether something is like actually good or not. You have that power. That's the thing. It's like, yes, yes, guy who thinks they're an anti-capitalist for taking down a movie. You do. Freedom of speech exists. Freedom of speech is a thing, but that doesn't guarantee you'll have freedom of consequence. I keep saying this over and over again like a broken record. Yes, but I'm not wrong, aren't I? Am I wrong? Am I wrong for saying that maybe, in terms of criticism, maybe you should follow your own advice and take your criticism just like everybody else? But yeah, it's just a thing. It's just a thought. Doug. Doug Funny Mountain Man. If we can't catch them, who can? Oh yeah, I gotta make it. I gotta make the taper a bit more. There we go. Gooey. It's the thing. It's like Dumbsville's just wrong on his idea that we could just that critics could just not try to be civil when reviewing things, and that you should just listen to the critics. Yes, as if you are some type of anti capitalist whose words has never been heeded ever. Like, do I hear the bullshit alarm? Do I hear the bullshit alarm? I don't. There should be the bullshit alarm. It's the thing, there should be the bullshit alarm. Even though a lot of people are gonna say, "Oh, but it's criticism. Anything can be said." And I'm like, "No, anything can't be said. And you guys know this. If someone's gonna have a terrible take, it's someone having a terrible take. You can't just bend the rules just because you guys are the little people." Like, you can't just bend the rules because you're the little people. With that being said, just know that I still, even despite all my, despite what I say about how some people give out criticism, I still think taking criticism is an important aspect, and I think everyone should know how to take criticism. It's not just industry people who can't take who also suffer from this. It's also people who are independent, people who haven't really made some type of name for themselves except for their online criticism. But the thing is, though, they act like they are the voice of the people, but they literally are they're one brick of the wall. They're still a brick of the wall, especially the very, like, they're influential creators. Online influential creators that are still human, but creators nonetheless, and they're idiots. Some of them are idiots. Some aren't, but I digress. What should I do? So, hmm. Okay, they're playing on the game track. Tanya is asking for a turn, which inadvertently smacks a mud skipper that lands on the mutant. Kind of just has him unconscious. But due to its long legs, it just stays there. The Free Sisters don't really care. Two of the Free Sisters don't care, but one of them is like, "Pipe down, you scrubs." And and Yeah, I mean, I'm not above criticism either, but the thing is, I'm gonna take the advice of Everett Peck here. I am just gonna like. I'm just gonna like not care what people say. Like that's the thing. Everett Peck when he I think I said this on the stream before, but Everett Peck once said that like with taking the criticism from Squirrel Boy, one of his least liked things he's ever made by a lot of people, he just simply didn't he wouldn't even give these people the time of day, and that's honestly respectable of Everett. And it's something that I think is, in my opinion, is rarely seen in a lot of like when people respond to criticism in the industry. And I'm not saying that oh everyone in the industry is bad. I'm just saying that like some of these people they kind of are very defensive of the stuff they make, and while I necessarily don't care, and to their credit, a lot of the people on the internet are kind of jerks. Like the internet has given people like it's given people this idea that they have the right to act like an asshole whenever someone doesn't like write a good episode of when someone doesn't make a good episode of SpongeBob, they always feel like they have this entitlement to act like an ass. Like they have this entitlement to act like a total asshole. And while like yeah, they are yes, freedom of speech exists, Dumbsville, but freedom of speech is not the same as freedom of consequence. You can say a lot of the stuff you can say, but at the same time, that doesn't mean you should say it. There's just some things you're gonna be wrong about, and some things you are gonna be told, hey, that might be taking it too far. I didn't like when he said that like some character designs in Clone Highs season 2 were like they were just character design war crimes. I felt like that's kind of just taking it too far. Imagine working on the show, looking at that and saying, darn. And no words, just saying, darn. And then some entitled asshole just goes,
Yeah, that's what you get for making something bad. Maybe take the criticism and do what we say because we are the audience.
and I'm like, you guys you don't get it, do you? You don't get it. Not like someone making something you don't like does not entitle you to be an asshole. I think this rabbit hole goes even further with this one guy named the Secret Guy, pretentiously named on Twitter.com, the Secret Guy, who basically is like, nothing is of worth. Nothing in the industry or anything else is of worth unless, like, they make something good, which is like, what the hell is good? What the hell is good? Like good, that's subjective. What's good is in the eyes of the beholder. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And while a lot of people may find that a very weird take or stance anyone can have, I'm just going to tell you this. Beauty can't be appreciated without an audience. If a tree, if a tree falls down and no one's there to make, and no one's there to like, if a tree falls down and no one's there to hear it, does it make a sound? No, it doesn't. How could anyone determine if it makes a sound? Sure, to the tree and other trees, they could be like, wow, he wouldn't shut up about, falling down. But it's like, at the same time, you do gotta admit, you guys don't necessarily, like, what's good and what's bad isn't something that can be categorized. It's all a matter of personal opinion. That's why some critics go, it's just my opinion. So take it with a pinch of salt. That's why Phantom Strider says that. Like, he still appreciates people liking something he doesn't like. Even if he chooses to kind of just like what's popular, hate what's not popular, and basically contribute to like the holy poly community, like parroting means no bounds because of literally how much people literally like lack any type of opinion or any type of like personnalité. Like, you just have to have the same opinions as this guy, and it pisses me off because no, that's not what the beauty of like life is. The beauty of life is having a differing opinion from somebody. In terms of political opinion, no. Because if your opinion basically contradicts the life of someone else, then there might be something wrong with you, one. And two, it kind of means that you might be messed up. Like, you fucking believe, like, unless you're a conservative that advocates for lower taxes, I could at least see the respect in that because you don't want to get taxed. You have a preference. You have a preference of what your life should be. You don't want to be taxed for things. However, any of this lower taxes stuff from the Republicans, they're mostly doing it for the rich. There we go. I just have to put, like, I don't know, some type of Crash Bandicoot, Jack and Daxter like character on Terrence's shirt. Just to signify that he's a gamer, I guess. Signify that he's a gamer and he's like possibly playing that type of game. I guess it's not the best idea to have like a shirt that basically you draw like on the last panel and then try to draw throughout the whole entire comic. I didn't really plan this well. This is more of a. It's more of a last minute thing than an actual. It's more of a last minute thing than an actual, like. It's more of a last minute thing than an actual, like, effort to have continuity. Rest assured, no matter what it is the same character. It is that little Jack and Daxter insane Meerkat character. Oh my god. Been streaming since midnight. Midnight tonight, tonight. Woo woo. Move over. Move over, Homer. Move over, Homer. Move over, Homer. Homer. Hey, move over, Homer. It's my impression of Barney. Move over, Homer. Move over, Homer. Oh, I can't do it. Move over, Homer. Homer. Hey, move over, Homer. Hey, Homer. Hey, Homer. Hey, Homer. Yeah, my eye. You know, before I really do anything related to speech bubbles, I should probably do the background. And this is where we see Terrence over here give his game direct to his sister Tanya. Oh yeah, Tanya's a Girl Scout. And they always, I guess they're like the youngest in their troop of like Plutonic Shurikens. The Plutonic Shurikens are basically like the honeybees from the Mighty Bee, and the Urban Rangers from Edda and Eddie, and also the Fireside Girls from Phineas and Ferb. Well, they're rolled into one. And they're basically Atomic Avenue's little primary troop. Or flagship, more so. Flagship troop. Where, obviously, no matter who they are or where they're from, their efforts are appreciated. I guess this is also the part where probably Yeah, where this big turkey neck is gonna be falling right near these three sisters. Maybe I should have it where. Nah, it's good. I was gonna go try to tilt one of the heads of like the sisters, but I figure that if I figure I'm just gonna probably like have them be the way they are. I think the turkey-necked little big monster over here is gonna take a dirt nap because a mackerel flew into their face. Pipe down, you scrubs. It's like it's more so. I guess it'd be in front of them, but these free sisters don't care. If anything, it's more so another nuisance. It's another nuisance in the city. They don't need any more bullshit to deal with. Now, how to lay out the background for this scene? How? Yeah, it's the thing. I'm not the best at perspective. I'm not like the king of perspective, especially for backgrounds, so bear with me, fellas. It's gonna be a bumpy ride. Let me assure you, I care about the layout of my. Basically, this monster dies inadvertently because of Terrence. I should try to make the monster smaller. gonna be a little harder than I thought. Maybe if I start out with a basic idea of what I want, then they'll come to me. Essentially, I do want this monster to be. To be resting on itself due to its own incompetence. It's like, I don't know, some type of mutated, like, goose. It's a goose. It's a goose that's dead, and it's like. This goose is basically cooked. In the metaphorical sense, it is literally cooked. And for some reason, these they care. For some reason they care, even though they really shouldn't, because it's a bloodthirsty monster. I could at least admit, without a doubt, that some of the people in this comic, they're not the brightest. They're not the smartest. That's the magic of these type of series is kind of just shows human error. It shows human error in a place where no, in a way where like I guess I could one of the best examples of showing like human error without really like talking to anybody or making a big South Parky like cheesy statement. It's more so like I show it without really telling it, which is I feel like that's the best satire. Obviously, the satire in which you're showing without telling is just it's just the best. It's the best satire because I feel like stuff that shows rather than telling like what their message is just better than stuff that tries to show stuff that tries to basically, tell you how you should feel about something. It's better because instead of being instead of this stupid raw idea of like instead of this stupid raw idea of like Instead of this stupid dumb idea of like basically telling you of basically going out and saying, yeah, actually, I have something serious to say. Blah blah blah. You see, blah 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 blank 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 blah 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 blank 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 blank. I feel like South Park does this a lot. They do this a lot where they like basically go, yeah, Tom, basically, blah 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 blah. I have a point to say. Blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah. My point is blah 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 blah. And it's just not fun. Yes, the old episodes of South Park weren't necessarily the best, but it's like they certainly knew what they wanted to be. It's kind of like the newer episodes of Nostalgia Critic. They kind of just try to make a point out of something that just should be silly. This should just only be silly. It shouldn't at all be like it shouldn't at all try to make a big point out of something because it should just be like silly shenanigans in a town. Not to mention they were better at satire back in the day when like a lot of the satire just it came from literally anything that can't be dated or total too dated at the very least. It's not too it didn't just become newspaper comics. It's the thing with these type of crowds. I'm gonna have to think very hard about like, oh, who's gonna be in here and how. And I could think of some people who could be in this crowd. I think it's more so like a matter of how do I present it in a way that gives people the idea that yes, this is in fact a perspective shot of people running towards a crowd and basically looking at the death of some giant bird and determining whether they were in the wrong for not caring enough. It's just I mean, I love adding these shots in, but they are a bitch and a half to do, and I don't really blame it. I don't really blame anyone who does this type of stuff and hates it. With that being said, I don't just give up. I don't give up just because things just seem bleak. There we go. Just to give the indication that this is someone's leg. I'm gonna be honest, it ain't easy. It ain't easy making these type of layouts and figuring out how they should be. Especially when you're doing something as convoluted as having a crowd of like people, let alone girls and women, near a freaking dead bird, a dead mutated goose. Which they really shouldn't be there because it might rise up again. Oh shit. Wow. It didn't even get what I was looking for. Wow. But yeah, that's the thing. It's a little bit of a sympathy towards the bird. The bird, well, according with these girls, they're like feeling a little sympathy towards the bird, even though they don't really deserve to have any sympathy towards them. And they know they're gonna like possibly get killed by the bird. But please, don't tell these girls this. Don't tell them. Please don't tell these girls this. They're not exactly the brightest when it comes to that type of stuff. Oh god. More of figuring out how to properly size people and properly space things out. Oh, wee, do I love that. And also trying to like, I mean, I'm not trying to I'm not complaining. I'm just like, boy, oh boy, do I love trying to do a really good perspective shot of someone trying to like walk over towards a crowd and to join in. I could see why some people don't like drawing when they do these type of things, but at the same time, I'm gonna still stand my ground here. What the hell? Not no no. No. I don't know why it does that. Jeez. Could you just move? The hell's going on? I'm trying to properly capture someone's height or, size. I'm trying to, like, evenly make it look like. And the focal point will be here, but I'm not liking this. I'm not liking the capture. Something is going on. Something is going on to where, for some reason, I just can't properly seem to, like, do anything. Primary monitor. At least they're considering Fire Alpaca a window rather than, like, nothing at all. I don't know what's causing this this thing. Okay, I'm sorry, there's not much I could really do. But just know that I'm still trying to work hard on this, and I'm still trying to stack my paper. I'm still trying to stack the paper over here, even if it seems very hard, which I see it does. I see it does. And it sucks a little that I can't really, like, I don't know. I think the stream's slowing things down, but at the same time I'm not gonna give up. I probably shouldn't have done that. Yeah, I definitely shouldn't have done that. Sorry about this, guys. I'm trying to adjust. It just keeps scrolling. It just keeps auto-scrolling. It just goes zoop, zoop. Every time. It's just obnoxious. So instead of focusing on the lady's stature, which is a tall stature, I'm gonna focus on the ladies. I guess I'll focus on the lady's legs first. So that I could create this illusion that this woman, this woman of many dreads, is going to the crowd of other girls. Because apparently a monster is important. Yeah, kind of just like this big calling. All these women over here, girls even, going to this monster for some reason. I keep talking about this, but it's like I find that a little important because it's signifying some of the stupidity in some of the people in this. Some of the people in this. It's kind of just showcasing how stupid some of the people of Atomic Avenue can be. Even though some of them are well-meaning, some of them aren't really the brightest when it comes to ideas. Look, they will trust. They're literally gonna trust a monster when it's at its most vulnerable. I mean, it's stupid, man. It's kind of dumb. It's just dumb. However, I think that's the best part about this comic. It's just showcasing how some people can be a little dumb. How some humans can be dumb in their decisions. However, that doesn't make them all terrible people. It just kind of makes some of the things they do not the best. Kind of showing that, like, oh, not everyone has really good decisions. However, in this situation, we don't even know what's going to happen. We don't even know what's going to happen next, so yeah, it's the thing. We don't even know what's going to happen, so for all I know, these girls could potentially put themselves at risk of danger. But the thing is, I don't tell people if they're in danger because I want people to figure out themselves if they're in danger or not and not have to rely on the speak of the writer. Like, that's the thing. I guess, I don't know, it sounds pretentious and sounds like, obviously, it's something I think not Rebel Taxi, John Krivolusi said about, like, writing dialogue. You gotta have it sound natural, it's agreeable. I could agree that, yes, you do have to make your dialogue seem natural. With that being said, fucking, it's John Krivolusi. What are you gonna expect? This is not like an interior crowd. This is just me trying to space it out and make it seem like there's more. Give it that all flooded look. Which obviously it will have that look. Especially since some of the people at Atomic Avenue aren't necessarily the brightest. I keep saying that, but it's like, it's kind of true. There is a level of, like, dumb in some of the citizens. That doesn't make them all terrible. It just kind of just makes them a little stupid. Guess I'm adding like some type of interior crowd to make it seem more jam-packed. Yeah, I think what I got already is good. In fact, I think the wonder was bothering me a little. I don't know what was bothering me somewhat. The horizon line where the crowd should be small. There we go. Now it actually feels like a crowd of people are crowding near a dead monster. Now, to give this comic a name, other than Atomic. Oh yeah, I already have a name for it. Doy. Let's see what I did for Dinkyland. That was the latest comic that I'm gonna post probably Monday on Twitter and Instagram. Can I a turn? I'm gonna have a little side combo with Terrence and one of the sisters. Or three of them. The freedom could all be there. Yeah, there's a Cowboy Bebop reference. Even though I haven't seen Cowboy Bebop. But they're a fan. It's the thing, they're a fan. They'd feel sympathy, obviously. Oh no. Not again. Look, Pen, I can't keep on doing this all the time. Look, you're gonna have to throw me a bone once in a while. I can't constantly have to roll with the punches of every stroke that's wrong. There we kinda go. Have them imply that this is someone running towards the camera. Unfortunately, if there's one thing I'm not the best at either, it's okay, never mind. I'm kind of good. I'm getting good at this. Actually, maybe it would be best if I didn't have that extra girl. I'd rather it just be like implied in the crowd. There's gonna be a because this is a densely packed area, obviously. There's gonna be like two inner crowds and one outer crowd. Basically signify that like there's so many people. I'm gonna probably accomplish this in my Utter Aquatinoids comic that I'm working on. Here's the thing, it's like Terrence is gonna be at the end of the comic or here, it's gonna be a little interaction with those sisters. I gotta level it perfectly, or else I'll give people the impression that I'm basically getting lazy and just using stock designs when I'm not. I don't even think that's a mark of laziness. I think that's more so given this is gonna be where I'm kind of getting a little lazy. And I'm basically copying and pasting two of the same character. But when I do this, I usually try to do it in order to, like, I guess trace that tracing. I guess supposed to give you the impression that these are like very identical sisters, free, the free. So that, once I finally am able to, like, huh? Didn't realize I was like, I didn't realize I had different types of layers. Wow. How embarrassing. uh, yeah, these girls would probably be anime fans. But they're probably like the best anime fans. Not like they're not total bitches. They're not total bitches. They're not obviously they're not gonna just put I mean also Terrence is kind of an anime fan as well. Obviously like stuff like JJBA and One Piece. So do they. So do a lot of the other characters, some characters, especially these free sisters that wear a varsity that each wear varsity jackets. Which, by the way, I should probably make it that they're jackets. There we go. The sisters. I don't know what their names are gonna be. Probably Leia, Lalia, and Layla, Lalia, and Leia. it's definitely going to rely on a lot of, like, alliteration. This is where I get the... I'm going to call this the rough draft. Gonna call this the BG. I'm gonna call this the models. That's where we're gonna put a lot of the modeling. Ooh! Oh, would you look at that? We're still going. Well, that's good. That's good. We're still going. What the hell? Hey, Diego. Go kill yourself, Diego. What the hell? Mailbox. Mailbox. Book, horn. Fuck. What? Who is this guy? Excuse me for 1 second. I gotta. Alessandro. Desamparado. Sorry, guys. I'm just kind of looking at somebody for a sec. I don't even know who they are. But yeah, they're probably a troll. Probably just a troll that's like going, "Lol, oh, I got you." Luckily, they are stupid. And luckily, they aren't gonna do much damage. BG. Okay, I'm gonna put my boxes here. I'm gonna make the boxes and add my gutters. That's my... Speech bubbles will go there. Obviously. And... color scheme layer will go... color scheme will go here. Because I'm gonna have a color scheme during the day, and also the moment in which Tanya here is basically pulling on Terrence's shirt. Tanya and Terrence. Ain't that some good alliteration or not? I say it's good alliteration. Oh my god, I forgot. I forgot to put in some of the Snaggleteeth on the basically dead mutated goose. Alrighty. And hold on. Before we even get to... Oh yeah, forgot! Color! Gotta select my color. No, not transparent background, silly goose. It'll be kind of a light purplish. Just so we have a good clash. And it's still pretty readable. Like, it's in blue font. Not blue font, it's in blue color. But essentially, I get my point across by having these. I get my point across in the way I want. Which, let me tell you, it ain't easy. It ain't easy making a series and making it in the way you want it to, especially if it's like as it ain't easy making something amazing, but also just it ain't easy making a comic and trying to put in weird perspectives. Or extreme stuff like crowds. It just ain't easy. It's not always going to be easy, and that's fine. But yeah, everything just seems in order here. Got my shot, got this shot, and then this shot that leads to them freaking out. Then to a part where the fish just smacks the monster. Then to the three sisters who noticed, you know, noise. And then a crowd of like girls and women come near the giant monster and witness it. Weirdly, they feel a little sorry for it almost for dying, even though it almost tried to kill a lot of them. Shoot! We ain't done yet! I'm kind of exhausted, but I still have to go draw the other people. And with my expertise, it may require me to look again. Luckily, though, it's very miniature little characters, so I don't have to, like, put too much effort. Though, obviously, some characters, like Rose, I wouldn't say Rose, I would say with some characters, much like very tall characters. I guess with some characters, it's like obviously I'm gonna have to like add them in the shot, even though they don't really deserve to be in the shot. And some of them are just stupid bitches, I'm gonna be honest. And obviously I'm not getting all the shots right, I mean... I'm making it out as the doors are like huge. But actually, the doors are kind of just average sized. However, I'm trying to indicate that there's 5 roommates slash best friends slash women and girls who are up there, and they are slash women and girls that are up there, and they are looking at the carnage that a fish did. Fortunately, it's hard. It's kind of hard to like. With this phase, I'm just more so figuring things out. Again, it's like. I mean, if I actually were gonna have this be in an animation, I would just have these 5 women still be in the shot. But at the same time, it's in the shot where the speech bubble is obviously gonna block it. Would there really be any point to draw that one long dreaded girl? I don't think there would be a point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3, 4, 5, 6. Dredge is just going to be going inside the curls. I might have to heighten the third interior crowd to give it the idea that or neutralize it so that we know that there's like millions of others in the crowd. And to give people more that idea that Atomic Avenue is very congested. And I have to do the same with this panel over here to signify, yes, it's gonna go above all this. It'd be nice to feature them again, but at the same time, it's like, no. It's Esperanto. Or Diego Alessandro Desamparado. Suck my dick. Uh-oh. Like I said, Diego, suck my dick. Anywho, yeah. Yeah, this is a well-worth comic now. Man, if I thought I was done then, I'm definitely done now. Can I have a turn? I'm gonna be honest. I never really expected me to. I didn't really expect myself to actually get this done by today. Or at least get the comic done. But yeah, it's the thing. There's a big, hulking community of like. Big hulking community of women who seem to kind of have this. I wouldn't say Stockholm syndrome. I guess they had some type of Stockholm syndrome for the goose that died. Poor bastards. There we go, foreground, so that we could also have moments, and nothing goes past the speech bubbles except for the color scheme. However, for really huge, huge amounts of crowds, it's great to really just have a backup plan. And boy, for this, I'm going to be dealing with a lot of background overlap. For this panel, especially. Because I'm wanting to get the sensation that there are like over thousands upon millions, over billions, beyond trillions of people suddenly caring. I could probably step that further. I could probably step it further to where there are more people in this scene than there should be. I really should stop streaming, but at the same time, I made it this far, so it's like, how can I not stop? That's my philosophy. I'm at that point in which if I stop now, I'm probably not gonna have the best. I'm not gonna have the best result, and I want to have the best result. I want to have a product in which I could say, yeah, this is worth it. And also, I guess I want to really impress myself. do the thing that I really couldn't have done, and that's like make a crowd or successful crowd shots. Could even have power clicks. There we go. I'm gonna show that some of like the it's a big party of like clique members. And last but not least, you. I don't know what you're gonna be. But yeah, most of these are like just so I don't break the rule of my universe, this lady over here is 20. She's 20 years old, or around 20. So that means she could have her face be seen, whereas an adult wouldn't really be looking at this. Some of these are like, tweenage and old. Tweenage to 32. And she also has kind of a clique thing going on, or sister thing going on her in her apartment, but it's just her walking out. Oh my. Okay, good. Good. Lady could fit her. The lady could fit in her apartment. Oh my god, I would have been worried sick. There we go. And obviously I don't know if I should add another row of like, oh shit. Man, that's Buddy Marir, yeah. Buddy Marir, yeah. That's right, Buddy Marir. But yeah, it's the thing. It's like, I don't know if I should have this top layer have other people basically watch. I might adjust this to where the balcony is the hell? The balcony is around this area and yeah, around this area. There we go. That finishes a bit of... Okay, I guess it's kind of cheating to put it there. I don't know if I should add... And obviously I'm gonna heighten these and have it so that they're just as the same height and width as all the other, like, screen open doors in this scene, but... Do I really have to draw the other civilians coming out? I don't think so. Worth a try. Mostly some of these are going to be legs. So it's not like it's gonna be like anything important. And up here, there's gonna be a crowd of like ladies that just all dressed the same to signify more of that clique thing I was talking about. They're all clique. They're clique members. One of them literally dresses like a princess. And the other one on the other side does. Some really giant gown, I guess. If it's giant, I should probably have their hands be stretchy. Okay. Serviceable. It's serviceable. It definitely does say something. You know what? This is a good place for me to stop. This is a good place to stop. For this comic, I found the good place to stop. Unfortunately, the freaking circly little halo thing drives me insane. It's okay, though. It's okay because I'm not bothered by it. I don't care for that. As the Nostalgia Critic says, I don't care for that. Well, I hope I was able
to make you smile. I hope I was able to make you laugh. And I hope I was able to make you interested in a lot of the stuff that I make, let alone a lot of the stuff that I work on. I really hope I was able to make you smile as well, and interest you, and make you laugh. I may not be some type of guy who always tries to make a big point out of something, but I'll just tell you this. I'm just proud to have a really great stream. We did it. We did it, everyone. We did it. I'd like to thank Wumple. I'd like to thank Carol, Holiday Girl. I'd also like to thank Nah, I'm not gonna thank Ron Livingston. I don't know them. As for Diego Alessandro Despardo, suck my nuts, bitch. Anywho, I'm pretty happy with what's going on here. We got Courage, obviously, waving goodbye. And I couldn't be more happier with this stream. We did a really good job, really good hustle. Give ourselves a pat on the back. The things I do for love. And remember, I'll see you real soon.